As announced, I'm an artist, an art educator, and my favorite hobby is dentistry. My dental hobby began as a result of what I call an accident of migrant experience, common path for immigrant children who feel pressures to professionalize. It wasn't too long, however, until my intellectual curiosities would lead me to explore beyond disciplinary borders. Novelist Philip Roth once said that he needs two sticks of reality to rub together to create something new. In my current research, art and dentistry become two sticks of reality in search of new insights across disciplines. Yet, preceding my current interdisciplinary exploration was my interest in interracial and interspecies relations. Donna Haraway, in her book When Species Meet, asks some fundamentally important questions. What it might mean for us to live together with other peoples and species, with our asymmetrical differences in a system of living and dying, nurturing and killing. Now, this ethical discourse and how we imagine our relationships to other peoples and species is the foundation upon which I began my interdisciplinary research. Fusing my dual training in art and dentistry enabled me to conduct this research that I'm about to show you in the most substantive, in-depth, and robust means possible. So I began tinkering with dental materials as sculptural element more than 10 years ago, with almost half-hearted, humorous experimental curiosity. So these are titled Pearls of Wisdom, Human Wisdom Teeth, extracted by yours truly, about a couple of blocks away, actually. Then laser engraved with quasi-wisdom sayings, serving as visual puns. But it wasn't until about 10 years later when I heard of Symbiotica, a bioart residency at the University of Western Australia in Perth, that I thought to incorporate stem cell technology into a project titled Amelogenesis Imperfecta. So when we lose a tooth, what if scientists can transplant stem cells directly into the jawbone so that a new tooth erupts in its place? Or what if artists utilize the same stem cell technology to grow enamel in any shape we please, according to the chosen shape of the underlying bioscaffold, to produce what are in effect tiny sculptures made purely of enamel? Now, given the modest and basic results achieved so far in enamel growth research by major institutions, Harvard and Tokyo universities being two of them, and they grow very tiny amounts that you can only see through microscopes. One clinical dentist like myself working through intricate multi-step research to achieve the same results was highly unlikely. So of course I already knew this going into the project, and my aim was more philosophical in nature. Enamel is technically a non-living, inorganic tissue existing in living organic bodies. My aim was to stimulate discussion through the production of relic-like objects that remind us of the life-death continuum, like in Hamlet, produced from the very stem cells that entice us with the promise of immortality. So at the Symbiotica residency, I extracted an unerupted tooth bud of a pig and harvested two types of cells, skin cells and connective tissue cells that are required to produce two main components of teeth, enamel and dentin, which were then bathed in a nutrient-rich soup and grown in petri dishes inside an incubator over time. So while the harvested stem cells rapidly began growing and dividing, a process we know as mitosis, right? My project hit a snag common to most bioresearch worldwide: infections within the petri dishes in spite of rampant use of antibiotics. And when it became clear that the infection was a losing battle, the art project had to take a drastically reimagined state. So the epithelial cells that would have multiplied and differentiated into enamel-producing cells, called ameloblasts, were instead stained and fixed onto glass slides. And these slides functioned as the canvas upon which the cells were drawn on or carved with a precise cutting laser while under high magnification. So the laser engraved inscriptions under magnification read, on a sheet of cells, how deep is the skin of teeth? Or within a single cell, what is the smallest measure of life? Of course, these engravings remain invisible to the naked eye and become visible only through the aid of a microscope. Then there is the barely visible or conveniently invisible reality of what life form sustains these pluripotential stem cells that enable bioresearch worldwide. After all, stem cells don't just materialize out of thin air. Just as we rarely think deeply about the sources of packaged meat products on store shelves, we choose to remain oblivious to the ubiquitous usage of fetal, bovine, or calf serum, the soup stock of bioresearch. Whether we like it or not, when we receive medical benefits from bioresearch, we're all implicated in these interdependent, interspecies relations of living, dying, and killing. Now, in contrast to these implications, my project, Botox Me, has strictly intraspecies human implications. Unless, of course, we consider the sacrifice of the bacteria species Clostridium botulinum, from which Botox is produced, i.e. germicidal as genocidal. In 2007, when BC became the first Canadian province that licensed dentists for therapeutic Botox injections, this art project was born. While indications for Botox include bruxism, headaches, and muscle spasms, we commonly note as a quick fix, if not for immortality, then at least towards the appearance of eternal youth. So rather than using a canvas to paint on, what if an actor's face became the surface upon which to sculpt away wrinkles? In an era of high-definition media, we come to scrutinize and to desire the smooth, poreless skin of actors and celebrities, and then rush to fulfill these mimetic desires ourselves. So I worked with 2 actors who agreed to being injected with Botox. The actors then posed for before and after videos while reciting highly effective Shakespearean soliloquies. The resulting footages highlight the uncanny and perhaps even a bit creepy appearance of the result of Botox-induced temporary muscle paralysis. Both of these projects, Amelogenesis Imperfecta and Botox Me, potentially mirror some of our most enduring as well as shifting cultural values and the subtle technologies that are quietly and busily at work under our skin and even under the skin of our teeth. Thank you.